Just 7 months from next summer's World Cup in France, the U.S. women's national team continues their road to a hopeful repeat. Today, from the Lisbon suburb of Estoril, where the United States will face Portugal. A squad on the rise, the host, though, sure to be tested here as they welcome the #1 ranked U.S. to the Portuguese Riviera. The red, white, and blue in search of a milestone 500th win in program history. USA, Portugal, up next, lineups and kickoff when we return.
You see, Brad, songs are really about big life moments. Baby shower here. Big life moment.
What is in here?
Ooh, I hope it's a life insurance policy.
What?
It's a sensible gift. Protection for you and your family. Nationwide has all the tools to help you find the right coverage.
Tiny baby shoes. So close.
Makes no sense. Baby can't even walk. Should have been a life insurance policy. Plus, would have been a great song. Think about it. The lyrics, beneficiaries. Ooh, Brad, where are you going?
Estadio Antonio Coimbra da Mota in Estoril, Portugal, the site for today's showdown between the United States and Portugal. Julie Foudy, Sebastian Salazar with you on the call. Let's check out the Portuguese lineup under manager Francisco Neto.
Going with a 4-3-3 as we've seen often. With Portugal, pay particular attention up top. Number 16, Diana Silva led World Cup qualifiers for Portugal with 5 goals. And Carolina Mendes on her left, number 18 as well. They are a large part of the Portuguese offense.
And here's a look at the United States under head coach Jill Ellis.
And 4 changes largely compared to what we saw with the World Cup qualifiers. Kelly O'Hara in that outside right back position had ankle surgery. She is still out. Tobin Heath out with a personal commitment. So you see Pugh and Fox coming in. Emily Fox, a sophomore at University of North Carolina, making her first start. Andy Sullivan back in the middle. And NWSL fans are going to be very excited to see Jessa McDonald getting only her second cap for the United States up front.
And her first start for the U.S. as well. Kickoff here just moments away. Time for our Continental Tire Analyst Corner. Julie, what you got?
Well, it's interesting because we've been talking so much about Alex Morgan's goal-scoring prowess. 24 goals in 24 games over the course of this year and going into last year, actually. But I would say one of the keys for this U.S. team going forward is going to be just that, what you saw there. 10 different players scored the 26 goals in World Cup qualifying. It was a complete team effort. 12 actually coming from midfielders and defenders.
Couple games over the next few days for the United States. Rare games played abroad. Well, next they'll face Scotland. But the task at hand, a Portuguese side that comes in ranked 33rd in the latest FIFA rankings. Fresh off their best ever participation in the Algarve Cup. Finished 3rd out of 12 earlier this year. Tournament they've hosted since 1994. Portugal. Red shorts, red tops, green socks, going right to left across your screen. The U.S. in the sharp-looking all-white kit going left to right. Patricia Moraes, the goalie for Portugal, puts this one in play. Lindsay Horan. Crystal Dunn in the unfamiliar, now familiar position of left back for the United States.
And fans may be wondering, why no Alex Morgan, why no Julie Ertz? Those are the 2 big ones missing who are here on the roster. And there are no injuries. It's just a matter of resting some of these players who have had, as is understandable, very long seasons.
Dunn looking for Jessica McDonald. Touched out of bounds by Silvia Rebello. Moran chipped into the box. Had to pick out Mallory Pugh just over the head of the intended target. Portugal participating in their first ever European Championships last summer. Moraes was the goalie in their 3 group phase matches. They were eliminated in group phase, but actually played quite well. Been picking up a 2-1 victory over Scotland. They were eliminated, in fact, only on goal differential. Emily Fox, the debutante, in some trouble here. Bailed out by a foul call. Very capable outside back, plays at the University of North Carolina. I know, Julie, you were getting the scouting report on Fox earlier this week.
I was. I checked in with Anson, and I said, tell me about Emily Fox. I've seen her at the under-20 level, and he said, love her because she brings all of the attributes you want in an outside back. She's pacey, she's good defending, good in possession. And he said what I love most about her, every time after practice, she's constantly working on her game, trying to get better at something. And most important, may have, he says, broken the record for how many times you've nutmegged Anson Dorrance in a practice, which currently is held by Tobin Heath.
Nice. Nutmegging your coach. That's one way to go about making the case for playing time, right?
I mean, but it shows with Jill Ellis, this still, and you know, we've talked about 2017 being really the experimentation phase. 2018, she was starting to lock in. But she's still willing to look at younger players, bring in new players.
Yeah, this is the first cap for Fox. She's the 26th player to earn their first cap under Jill Ellis. Of course, Ellis taking over in 2014. Becky Sauerbrunn under some pressure here. Plays it back to Alyssa Nair. The safe play out of bounds. Throw in for Portugal. Just about 4 minutes into this match. I believe yesterday was actually 7 months to the day of the first match at next summer's World Cup in France. Carolina Mendes wearing the number 18 for Portugal. One of their dangerous players to watch up top. They're applying the pressure. The ageless Megan Rapinoe. What a remarkable turnaround she's enjoyed since being a part, and really just a part, of that 2016 team that crashed out of the Rio Olympics in the quarterfinals against Sweden. Injury really limited her ability to play a role in that tournament, but she's enjoyed a career resurgence in the years since. Fox, now to Mallory Pugh. Pugh cutting to the inside, finds Rose Lavelle. Lavelle on that magical left foot. High press here from the Americans. See the images there of Emily Fox. Outside back, Julie, has been a topic of concern, a position of concern, if you will, about as long as I can remember under Jill Ellis. I mean, we see somebody like Fox getting an opportunity here. Is there any chance for her in France next summer?
I think there's a lot of people in front of her. I think Jill is still open to looking and exploring, but I think it's pretty much locked in with players that, you know, you've got Casey Short in the mix that we've seen. Kelly O'Hara out with the ankle injury, who I think, of course, would be back and has locked in that right back starting position. She's going to be out 8 to 12 weeks. So I think you've even seen some of your center back options able to pop out wide. Sonnet has gone out wide. Tierna Davidson out with her injury as well, will be back. So I think it's going to be a tough road to making it, but
ball all the way back to Moraes. She'll clear it wide. Monica Mendes on it now for Portugal. Mendes pressured by Pugh. As well to pick out some help in the middle. It's Tatiana Pinto. wearing the number 11. Portugal missing perhaps their best player, Julian Claudia Neto. She's kind of the string puller for this Portuguese team, if you will, in the middle of the park.
Yeah, we checked in. She's plays for Wolfsburg in Germany, and said that Portugal said that she didn't want to miss time with Wolfsburg, so she is not in. Another key player for Portugal, Ana Borges, injured right now. Typically wears the number 9 for them. And this is the thing about Portugal. I mean, they haven't gotten a ton of respect. Never made a Women's World Cup. Just qualified for their first Euros in 2017. But this is a team that, as you can see, they can play. They can knock it. And given a little bit of support, a little bit more support, this is a team that, as we've seen in Spain, I think could do well.
Dunn probing the left flank. Dunn, one of the many U.S. players on the North Carolina Courage roster in the National Women's Soccer League, the defending champions. Starting forward today, Jessica McDonald, the 2018 NWSL Championship MVP, as the Courage got their revenge, shall we say, over the Portland Thorns.
Now, how good was Jessica McDonald?
So good. So good. And she's been so good,
yeah,
Julie. She's
exactly.
been so good.
And we've been talking about this before the game, that surprising she only has, this is only her second cap for the national team. It shows you the embarrassment of riches with this U.S. team, but it's a player that deserves a look for sure. And she brings such a different element in the way Jessica plays. Is she can win balls in the air. She could come in off the bench, you know, in the closing minutes to give you that aerial threat. She's just this raw, athletic, strong, powerful forward.
Talk about the 7 months until the World Cup. Is there time for McDonald to make a case?
I think McDonald has a bigger case than Emily Fox for sure, yeah. And, you know, she's got the experience of having played. She's been a journeywoman in the NWSL.
Pugh hacked down there by, looked like Tatiana Pinto.
But again, when you look at the U.S. roster, I mean, Mallory Pugh having a hard time getting into that starting lineup, as we've seen coming off injury. I mean, Kristen Press isn't here right now. Tobin Heath isn't here right now. They've got so much talent up front.
Dangerous situation here for the home side. The Americans very, very strong on set pieces, especially when Megan Rapinoe is standing over the ball. Patricia Moraes organizing her back line. Rapinoe into the box and just missed Lindsay Horan, who had slipped open on the back post.
I don't know why she didn't take that one with her head, actually. You know, and this is a situation Portugal, clearly off, no flag raised. This is a situation that Portugal does not want to see happen. I mean, we've seen Horan, how dangerous she can be in set-piece situations. Just cannot have that much space with a player that good in the box.
Here comes Portugal, building up. Abby Dahlkemper there to steer it away. Managed to pick out Pugh, and the Americans will switch the point of attack through Crystal Dunn. Dunn and Rapinoe on that far side. It's a dangerous duo. Ball lumped forward. Liana Silva, the header, but no help for the Portuguese forward. Effectively working 1-on-5 against the American defense. Sauerbrunn. Horan, now Fox. Fox, the lone college player called into this group. Dunn here, surging up from her left back spot. This is where you get the idea, that overlapping play with Dunn, Rapinoe. Very, very fun to watch.
And that's the beauty of Crystal Dunn from that outside back position, is what she can bring offensively. But it's interesting, you feel, 12 minutes in, and it's flat. And I think that's exactly why they wanted to be playing abroad right now.
Dangerous ball whipped into the box, touched away by Moraes. Pugh will chase it down in the corner. A little too much on the pass intended for Fox, so the Americans will win it back.
Part of the challenge of playing in Europe is you have quieter stadiums, not as much energy.
Sauerbrunn, Dahlkemper, pretty much the first choice center back duo that we've seen for most of the last year. Though you mentioned a name earlier, Tierna Davidson. Surely she'll have some role to play over the next half year or so as this roster for France is decided.
And she gets healthy again, yep. I mean, and that was a player that Jill Ellis really liked. She's at Stanford, broke her leg, and she still has time, but so much of that is the chemistry of those two.
Sloppy play out of the back. Portugal make the U.S. pay. Jessica Silva finds Mendes. Mendes again. Portugal enjoying, for a brief moment there, some nice build-up. Nervous moments here for Alyssa Nair. And this could be trouble. Huge play from Roosevelt to block it. Opportunity for Tatiana Pinto. She'll loft it towards the goal, but with plenty of time to recover for Nair.
And this is just a lack of communication, and then obviously there's the technical error where she's trying to clean that up. Nair got him into a bit of a trouble before that as well. Rose Lavelle getting into the position though, because Nair's out of her goal. And obviously you saw Portugal trying to look and find a longer shot.
Lavelle looking for the switch. Matilda Fidalgo whistled for a handball. That one might have skipped through for a one-on-one. Instead, another dangerous set piece looming for the United States.
This is an easy call, isn't it? And this is going to be one of the challenges for the United States, is they haven't been able to get pressure on ball, which they've been so successful with in this 2018 year. As soon as they lose the ball, they've been putting pressure defensively on the ball. And Portugal doing a very good job in these first 15 of breaking that pressure.
Rapinoe fresh off 7 goals and 6 assists this past National Women's Soccer League season. Options to pass, options to shoot. Rapinoe! Did not miss by much.
Good look by her. That is, if that is trying to dip so hard too. That's a good look.
Already some damage done, it appears, to Lindsay Horan. Getting worked on the near sideline. 16 minutes in to this international matchup between the U.S. and Portugal. As Julie mentioned, this Portuguese side has never qualified for a World Cup. Finished 3rd in their qualifying group in UEFA this time around, behind Italy and Belgium. Got, 18 of the 24 teams for next summer all set.
Still waiting on 3 from Africa. Their qualifiers are starting
November 17th, I believe, is the date.
Mid-November, and then
the African Women's Cup of Nations.
You've got Oceania's got still New Zealand, Fiji, so New Zealand probably coming out of that. That's 4 teams. And then you have the European playoff, Switzerland, Netherlands, 2-game playoff. There's the 5th team, and then the 6th team, the Argentina-Panama game. That actually happens today.
First leg, yep. That'll be interesting. See if our favorite Yannick Bailey can get Panama
What a tournament.
into the World Cup. U.S. in the World Cup. Rose Lavelle. Pugh and Lavelle. Beautiful left-footed ball into the box. Lavelle picking out Haran, but that nodded out for a goal kick.
You look at those three players right there, Rose Lavelle, Mallory Pugh, Lindsey Horan. I would argue those three are going to be probably the three most critical for the United States going forward. Because when those three are on, right, I'd add Ertz into that mix when she's on the field. There's a creativity and a flow to this team that's very different.
So the follow-up then is, are all three starters come next summer?
No, I think Pugh's going to, if they are healthy, Heath and Alex Morgan, I think, and Rapinoe, those are your three starters. But to have a Rose Lavelle coming off, a Mallory Pugh coming off the bench, and then in behind those three, which you saw at CONCACAF qualifiers, Rose Lavelle and Lindsey Horan, I mean, that's a creative front six right there.
Lavelle really a unique player within this pool, isn't she?
Yeah, and, you know, everyone's been waiting to see, you know, is she going to develop into the player, you know, everyone hoped she would become, and having had to wait through and been frustrated by, you know, a little bit over a year of injuries. I mean, she had, you know, just setback after setback, and what that does to you physically, but also what it does to you mentally. And so to see her come roaring back like she has been great fun to watch.
U.S. dominating possession through 20 minutes in Estoril, suburb of Lisbon. Rapinoe, done. Options in the box. Jessica McDonald lurking there, but steered away by the Portuguese defense. U.S. wins it right back. Rapinoe and Dunn teaming up again. Haran the switch. Pugh squaring up against the Portuguese defense. She slipped it in behind here, looking for Haran, but Morais first to it. Morais, the starter for Portugal in their 2017 European campaign. Actually played really, really well throughout the three matches. Had one big blunder playing out of the back against England, a match that Portugal lost 2-1, their group phase finale. A result that ended up eliminating Portugal from the competition.
And you look at some of their 2018 results for Portugal. Beat Australia.
That's a huge win, right?
And we've seen how hard it is to beat Australia. The U.S. team has. So, yeah, beat China.
Yeah, that third place finish in the Algarve Cup was the best they've ever done in their tournament. Don't believe Sam Kerr started that game for Australia against Portugal. So, Australia with an asterisk.
Right.
Here comes Rapinoe, no asterisk. U.S. looking for their first goal of the match. Pugh unable to flick it on to McDonald. Portugal doing a nice job in terms of defending. A little too aggressive there. Silva pulls down Andy Sullivan. Sullivan, another player to watch in the middle of the park for the U.S. Lavelle curling it in for Rapinoe. Morais there again. Big win from Lindsey Horan. Silva one-on-one there with Fox, and the young American wins possession for her side. Dahl, Kemper, Sauerbrunn. Sabran, of course, with the Utah Royals of the NWSL. Just missed out on the postseason. Their first year in Utah.
See Portugal again, every time the U.S. trying to get some pressure once they lose it. Able to keep the ball. Challenge for Portugal, of course, is can they actually be productive in that attacking third?
Quick reminder, ESPN2 is your home for USL Cup tonight at 8 Eastern. Defending USL Cup champion Louisville City FC hosts Didier Drogba and Phoenix Rising from Lynn Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky. This match also streaming live on the ESPN app. Higher line of confrontation from Portugal. Here as we move into the 23rd minute. Fox trying to pick out Pugh. Pugh and Sullivan will combine to win it back, but not before the foul is called. We should note there are 6 subs allowed for today's match. On the U.S. bench, Emily Sonnet, Sam Mewis, Julie Ertz, Carly Lloyd, Alex Morgan, Danielle Colaprico.
Hey.
There's a name.
Right?
And Ashlyn Harris, not dressed for this match, but called into the group. Adriana French, Casey Short, Ali Long, and Merritt Mathias.
There's another outside back I didn't mention from before. Merritt Mathias, another great season with the Courage.
We did that game where the Courage, without a lot of their U.S. players, beat Lyon. Then they do what they do in the NWSL season. They win the championship 3-0. There's a pretty strong case there for Paul Riley and company to say, hey, we're the best team in the world, isn't there?
He will never say that, though. Paul Riley's mantra is, we are the underdog.
Right.
We are always the underdog. I mean, which makes them so scrappy and gritty.
Fun debate to be had either way. One never to be resolved. Silva, the last to touch that one. Dunn will see it out of bounds. Goal kick coming for the United States. Alyssa Nair on your screen. We saw her get off to a little bit of a shaky start in this match. Julie, it's been over a decade since the U.S. played a major tournament without Hope Solo as the starting goalie. It looks like Nair will be the person to fill those shoes come France.
And Jill Ellis, even though she did use Ashlyn Harris at World Cup qualifier, she has said right now our number one is Alyssa Nair. But I still think that's the one question mark left with this U.S. team going forward. Is she going to be the goalkeeper that's going to come up with the big save and the big moment, as we saw Hope Solo do for so many years? And I do think she has that potential, but you see still these moments where you go, little bit shaky. So that's why you're seeing an 80 French still in the mix.
Dunn, Rapinoe. More pressure from Silva, that matchup between her and Dunn. One to watch in this match. Dunn, of course, one of the U.S. players that has gone abroad to improve her game, playing with Chelsea in England before returning to the NWSL and North Carolina Courage. She'd been with the Washington Spirit before that. Very little possession here for Portugal. U.S., as expected, dominant on the ball. Not on the scoreboard yet, though. 27 minutes in, and we're still tied at 0. Fox looking for Pugh. The two just seem to miss each other. US will next face Scotland November 13th, St. Mirren Park. Foul in the middle of the field will go Portugal's way. 2019 World Cup starts 7th of June in France, runs through the 7th of July. The final will be played in Lyon. Stadium capacity 60,000. Can you imagine a final with the French versus anybody? That could be a special moment.
It's going to be a great World Cup.
Chaos about 30 yards from the American goal. Sullivan involved. Tatiana Pinto, the one that comes away with it for Portugal. Nowhere to go for this Portuguese team but back. Patricia Moraes, Portugal's busiest player so far through half an hour. This U.S. team, the defending World Cup champions, though their most recent major tournament participation left a lot to be desired. A quarterfinal exit at the Rio Olympics. Dahlkemper, another member of that North Carolina Courage squad. Lavelle.
You can see with the changes to what we've seen in the lineup for the United States, Mal Pugh coming in up front, Jessie McDonald, of course, not typically in there, Emily Fox, that right side a little bit, you're seeing it's just like a step off.
McDonald into the box with that long throw-in. Another dangerous element she brings to the game. Cross scuffed into the waiting arms of Patricia Moraes. Portugal doing a nice job winning some second balls. See if they can string possession together. They've done 3 here. Fidalgo pushing up from the right back spot. She'll lose it and is whistled for the foul.
Not sure there's much there myself.
Sullivan under pressure. Oh, well done there. Now she's lost it though. And Sullivan whistled for the foul. Sullivan, like Lavelle, like Pugh, young, talented players playing for the Washington Spirit of the National Women's Soccer League.
Uh-oh. Maybe too much lip.
Sullivan not pleased with the call. Dahlkemper into touch. Portugal coming alive a little bit more as we approach the home stretch of the first half. Sullivan picking up a booking of half-hour mark. Another long ball from the Portuguese goalie. Sullivan opens it up for Fox. Last touch by Portugal. Dolores Silva, the captain of this Portuguese side. Dangerous pass there from Dahlkemper. They would find Sauerbrunn. Led to a quick break opportunity, but the ball out of bounds as Dunn couldn't chase it down. 33 minutes gone in Portugal. US playing their penultimate match of 2018. Boy, what a year it's been. 18 games, 0 losses, Julie. 16-0-2 this year for the United States.
Yeah, they've been...
Rapinoe into the box. She's found McDonald, and McDonald will want that one back from point-blank range. One of the most clinical finishers in the National Women's Soccer League has let this chance go.
And Rapinoe just gets around the outside and lays it perfectly back with the right pace. Oh, come across it. You can see McDonald's look, knowing that was a missed opportunity. Back to what their 2018 has been like. 17, as we said, was a year of experimentation, so you expected that they were going to take some losses. New formations, different players. But 18, Jill Ellis started locking in on a system, and she found that 4-3-3 is her best system. She found and got a lot of players back healthy. And then it sure helps when an Alex Morgan is scoring at the rate she's scoring, and you've got healthy players around her as well. So when I looked at those World Cup qualifiers, and mind you, it's CONCACAF, and we all know that, and CONCACAF has its own issues, and that takes a whole other show to go into, a whole other game. But there was a swagger to that U.S. team, and a confidence and a creativity that you hadn't seen even against past CONCACAF qualifiers. And so if this team can stay healthy, if they can balance the demands of travel and training and a league going into next summer, I would say they're clear favorites.
Pugh with a bad turnover leads to a break for Portugal. Silva and Pugh one-on-one. Silva pulls it back. Good recovery from Mallory Pugh. Monica Mendez pushing up from her left back spot to take the throw in. Silva, Pinto. Now some possession for Portugal. Silvia Rebelo. Fidalgo inside. With a long ball over the top. U.S. seems to have it covered. Dahlkemper to Fox. Lavelle. Works past 1, 2, 3 Portuguese defenders before she's finally hauled down.
And that right there, in just those 5 seconds, where Rose Lavelle is able to get out of a tight space with 3-4 defenders around her, that was an element that was missing at the last Olympics. You look at that Sweden game in the quarterfinals, and they're just playing a compact defense. And you didn't have the players with the legs to break down that compact defense and break it down creatively on the dribble.
Dunn applying the pressure, as does Rapinoe. Portugal knocking it forward. Nice touch from Dunn to open things up for Lindsey Horan. She'll relieve further pressure through Fox. Fox pushing up the right flank. Now Pugh. Pugh one-on-one with Mendez. Pugh into the area. Touched away, but only as far as Rapinoe. Haran. Oh, wanted the 1-2 with Rapinoe, but expertly cut out by Silvia Rebelo. No break for the Portuguese. U.S. right back on the ball. 38th minute, still scoreless. A U.S. team that, if we're being honest, just walked through CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. Has yet to find the back of the net here against the Portuguese.
And Portugal, you have to be thinking, they're thinking, okay, yes, we haven't had much of the ball. Yes, we haven't had many good looks on goal. But look at that scoreboard, 0-0. If you can get into halftime 0-0, you got some confidence going into that second half. Whether you have the legs to back that up is another question.
Portugal building up down the right flank. This is Fidalgo into the box, falls to Silva. Silva with a chance, and Dahlkemper, a huge touch to steer that wide.
And then this is what happens. Portugal gets one look, a ball that's not cleared. Takes a little deflection, a flick. And good on Abby Dahlkemper to just get a leg in there.
Best chance of the match so far for Portugal. They'll follow it up with a corner kick. First header was Marquez. Cross comes in now from Costa. Portugal growing in confidence as we approach halftime. 39th minute. A second consecutive corner kick coming for the home side. Listen in, you can almost hear Alyssa Nair organizing her defense.
I thought it was a coach on the sideline, and then I realized it's Alyssa Nair. That boom mic is picking up everything she's saying.
Corner kick from the near sideline. Free header across the box. Nair dives, but it's just wide.
And if Portugal couldn't get in 0-0, even up one, given these last 5 minutes, again, more confidence given how the end of this first half is shaping up. So hard for goalkeepers because they're shifting across goal with ball, and when it comes back, I mean, that's a close look. Nair had that covered, but that's why they always tell you, head against the grain in the opposite direction.
Stays in play here. Portugal really starting to find their rhythm. Can the host turn it into a goal, though? If Andy Sullivan has anything to say about it, she steers that out for a corner kick. Quick reminder, ESPN2 is your home for an intriguing international friendly Thursday, 2:45 Eastern Time. England hosts the United States from Wembley Stadium. This will be Wayne Rooney's 120th and final international appearance for England. It will come against the United States. The match also streaming live on the ESPN app. Short corner for Portugal. Fidalgo loses out to Dunn. This could be trouble. The return pass just missing Crystal Dunn. She began her march upfield. As we mentioned at the very top of the program, the United States seeking a milestone 500th victory in program history. U.S. program that began in 1985. Dunn into the box. She found McDonald. What a stop. Moraes. McDonald again. Goal! Jessica McDonald makes it 1-0 U.S.
And she's thinking, thank God I got another look, right? Here we see Dunn on the opposite side. What a nice ball that is. And the deflection back. But McDonald staying with it. Still there on the first one, and that she followed it up. Good things happen when you're following balls up in front of the goal.
It took 43 minutes, but the U.S. has their lead. Courtesy Jessica McDonald making her first start for the U.S. women's national team. How about that? Fox double teamed. Ball stays with the U.S. United States mixing and matching a bit with personnel. Rose Lavelle now on the left flank.
Yeah, you're seeing Crystal Dunn staying in that midfield. Looks like they almost switched to a 3-4-3 there.
Rapinoe and Rebello duking it out in the far corner.
And it appears that switch paid off, because look at that. You get Dunn on that right side breaking free. She's starting to switch back, but you saw her. Let's see if she stays high, if they had switched into that to get that goal.
U.S. set piece. Megan Rapinoe corner kick driven to the near post. Cleared away, but only as far as Crystal Dunn. Dunn had some trouble bringing that down. Big collision on the far sideline will be last touched by the U.S. Portugal throwing. Reminder, coming up at halftime, we've got a feature on U.S. national team midfielder Lindsey Horan. Not going to want to miss that. Plus a look at Julie's early favorites for the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup in France. The odds makers have been putting out their odds for who's going to win it. For those interested in such endeavors, check out the Australia odds. Right?
I know where this is going. I think they've gone to a 3-4-3 with Dunn in the midfield. And that's the beauty of having Crystal Dunn on the field. She can play all three lines and play them beautifully.
Dahl Kemper. Hand to the face of the Portuguese defender that went uncalled. U.S. really building out of the back here. Rose Lavelle installed it outside back. And there it is. The halftime whistle from Estoril, Portugal. Through 45 minutes, the United States leads the home side 1-0. Your goal courtesy Jessica McDonald. We'll be back in a moment with more.